Hey guys, welcome back to Jack on Tracks. And in this episode, we're going to start throwing down some ground cover, mainly dirt. Yes, we're going to throw down actual sifted dirt from my backyard. I just like the way it looks. If you have any bolts, bare spots in your ground foam, you see through it and you see dirt, which is like nature. So we're going to go with that. This is straight 70% isopropyl alcohol. We're going to use that to dampen it down. This is 2-to-1 Mod Podge and about 2 ounces of isopropyl alcohol in this. I like it because it helps break the tension. I don't do the soap in there. I do the isopropyl alcohol. And I think it works better. Basically, I just got to get myself a brush that I had here and I can't find right now. And so I can start laying this down, brushing it. And then we're going to take this, which is pre-sifted already once, and we're going to just start sprinkling it down. We're going to do one quick coat over the top of it, and then spray it down with this. And the second coat over the top, spray it down again, and that'll be that. It's messy. It's going to leave a mess down here, and that's why I have this, because I shake it over on the corner, and I catch as much as I can, because it's just a little bit cleaner. All right, guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right back, because I had the brush. I don't know where it went. Just give me 1 second. All right, guys, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour down some of this 2-to-1, and I'm going to spread it out. You can see, this might just get one cover. This is going down pretty good. Try to keep it as neat as possible. And this is just some talisman, different size. And we just come in and do what we do. Now, I usually do this over the paint, but since I started spray painting yesterday, I'm like, let me just finish spray painting. So I put this all down with spray paint. So I'm hoping that this still sticks the same way that it's been doing before, because I usually just do the spray paint over the top of it. The paint, and then this on top of the paint, and let it dry into the paint. That did not happen this time, but I'm hoping that I don't have an adverse effect with it. Anything extra will get vacuumed up. And then we do touch-ups. You see areas where it's not, getting a good nice little amount of whiteness mixed in there. You can just come in and just drip it. You don't even have to drip it on the spot. You can drip it adjoining to it, and it'll creep in. And if it's not creeping in, we're going to actually come over here one more time. All right, guys, so we're just going to let this dry. This is going to take a while to dry because you saw how much is on here. So we're going to let this dry for an hour or two. We'll come back down, and we'll give it a little touch. But so I'll dry up, and then we'll clean up this whole area. And then we'll flip it around and we'll get that side. That's as simple as that. I've even come over here and sprinkled ground foam on top. But never, you know, this is an end scale, so I'm going to give it a little time for this to set up, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys, be right back. All right, guys, so we're back. We flipped it around. This has been sitting for about an hour. I got a little crazy, and I went across the top with a little bit of blended earth, blended burnt grass, whatever they call it, from Woodland Scenics. That just adds a little something to it. I figured that'll just dry in there by itself, which it looks like it's doing. So we got the old trusty brush again, and we're coming here, and we're gonna do in here and out here. This over in this area right here, and maybe some over there. Doesn't really need to get done because we're pretty much following this blueprint over here, so doesn't really need that much. I should have did in between those tracks, but I'll do that at a later date when I could be a little more gentle with it. I'm just trying to get this colored in quick, down and dirty. Remember, we're going to come in here, and there's going to be ballast put in here. We're going to ballast these tracks next. That's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to get these ballast up. Oh, we got to be a little careful over here. All right, so a little spritz. All right, what I do need is I need a little more. (70% isopropyl alcohol). Now we'll flood this up. Gotta pop this top off. What happens is you get a little schmutz in there and it messes up the drip. So let's clean that out real quick. But yeah, guys, you see that's basically about it. Really not that difficult to do this. Get this all ready to go. We're gonna just probably sit. I'm probably gonna let this sit overnight. And then come back in tomorrow and start laying, figuring out what we're gonna do with the inside. I might just do a very light coat of the black grout in there and call it a day. Not 100% sure. All right, so that's that. All right, guys. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back to Jack on Tracks, and we're gonna ballast this this line today. I taped off this switch. I do my switches absolutely last. When everything's all said and done and everything is working, I'll come back in and really spend the time making sure I get everything right where I want it in the switch. So I ran out of this stuff. I have no idea. I thought I had a whole bunch of it and I can't find it. So I just picked up some fine gray ballast. This is actually a pretty good deal. I'm probably never going to run out of this stuff. So I had some pictures. I took some pictures of this. I laid in, it's called cinders, N-scale cinders. This is old. This is from Highball Products. I don't even know if they're around anymore. I didn't look, but I'm not sure. This was, I laid this in cinders over here, like a siding. I kind of like the way it looks. After this all dries out and I'm well done doing this, I may come back in here and add a little over to this side or possibly touch up this side. All right, so as you can see, the cinders comes up to here, but I left this spot open. I'm going to kind of do a little blending action in there with the cinders and the ballast. So, got my trusty brush, got my scrub brush for later on, tweezers just in case, and my glasses because I can't see anything. I'm most likely going to move this to a smaller container. Don't throw these things out. So that's a Kinder seasoning container, and it's now going to be a ballast container. Or we're going to have some really weird tasting steaks. Oh yeah. Well, at least my layout will smell good. They look very similar. But the Kinder one looks to be maybe just a slightly smaller hole. Let me just do this over here. I didn't cut this down yet, and I'm going to have to do that. As you guys seen in my other videos, I prefer to do the middle of the tracks first. Get the middle of the track done the way I want it, and then come back and really glue down the outside. All right, so I'm going to switch over to how I drop this on because it's, as you can see, I got a lot off to the side, and I really prefer to paint on glue onto the side of the road bed and put it down. So this came out a little much for what I wanted. Soaked 2 to 1 with a little IPA in there to help it flow better. That's basically that. We'll let that piece over there dry. We'll go to my old trusty container. I find this technique a little bit easier. I'll try to set this up a different way. Well, let's see if I can do it this way. I call it the tap. For the ocean. Got to put railroad ties in there. There's another technique. This is a little bit dirtier of a technique, but it does work. Works really good on HO. Just going to add a little bit in here to thicken it up a little bit. And you want to really get in here and make sure this stuff is clean. You don't want anything in these openings. All right, so half a second, I gotta come back. I'm running low on this. All right, What was in here before was 70. This is now 91. I prefer the 91. I think it just soaks in a little bit better. As you can see, I do not spare it. Due to no well-ventilated area. And then we'll come back in here before we start gluing the sides down. I'll come back in here with the vacuum and take any loose ballast up that's in there. As you can tell, I mean, I put a lot in here. I went a little crazy right there. I can admit it. I spilled a little too much. Come in here when this all dries up. Any ballast that's sitting on top of the ties will work off. Touch up any areas that need to get touched up at the end. So that's basically how I do it. I do the insides, I let dry, and then I'll come in here and I'll actually paint on some glue, white glue or wood glue, whichever I got within reach. And then I build the edge so it looks better. All right, guys, so we're gonna let that dry up and we'll come back to it. Probably, I'm going to say maybe an hour, hour and a half. What can I tell you? I'm speechless. No. All right, so we'll come back to it a little bit. All right, be right back. All right, guys, welcome back. So this is pretty much dried. It's not 100% dry, but it's dry enough for me to move on to what we got to do. And as you see me do this before, I either use wood glue or I use Mod Podge. Why do I use wood glue? Because I just happen to have a lot of wood glue. So take a brush, and I like to brush it along this edge. Getting a little too much on here. All right. I've used this technique before with HO, not so much in N scale. So we might be abandoning this technique. I just got to see how it's coming out. Yeah, let me get a different brush. This brush is a little too thick. We'll give this one a shot. All right, so that's going to dry up in there. All right, so then we'll revert back to the old school method with this because this is taking a little bit too long to do. It's a little too small for me to do it that way. So we're going to do the old dump and brush. I'm going to tell you. All right, guys, give me 1 second. I'm just going to reorganize everything and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so I'm just going to dump this on here and shape it the way I want it. And then flood it and hope it works for the best. I guess we'll just do that the rest of the way. At the bottom for the ocean. That actually works really well. That was messy. All right, so let that dry. We'll come back maybe later today, possibly tomorrow. I'm home all day tomorrow, so maybe we'll just finish that up tomorrow. But whatever it is, it's we'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna finish out this piece right here, and let this dry, flip it around, and I'll start taping that side up. Really, I'm just gonna do that in a hyper mode, or I might just edit out a video. It's basically this, but there. You really need to watch it again? Ballasting, not so much the entertainment that people want. Unless you're one of those guys. You're probably one of those guys. All right. We're just going to bang this out. All right, so we'll let that set up, and then we'll come back to it in a little bit, and I'll get this back piece done, and then this side will be done. I can flip it around, start taping up those switches, and I don't know if I'm going to do these backtracks again with the cinders, even though it does look pretty cool. And once everything's done in here, it's going to look really good. I should have ran dirt down here, and I didn't. I'm contemplating doing that on the other side. I'm not 100% yet. I'm probably going to. I know. I'm very indecisive. So we'll figure this out, and then we'll get back to it. We'll let this dry, and we'll come back. Be right back. All right, guys, since there's no reason for you to listen to me jabber while I do the rest of this, I'm going to do this in hyper mode, and then we'll take some pictures of it when it's all done. And if there's anything different that I'm doing in here, I'll stop and focus on that and slow it down. But otherwise, I'm just going to crank through this. All right, guys, enjoy the show.
If I make it back home, I'm just stuck here in a dream. At the bottom of the ocean, I'm at the bottom of the sea.
Hey guys, thanks for watching, and I really do appreciate it. As you can see, we got this all done, and looks pretty good. The building's going into place all nicey nice. This building, I found a little bit of an issue, but I think I can work with it since it's on the back of this building. I may have to trim this roof down a little bit, and that's going to be that. So I'm thinking in the next episode, we're going to lay in the pavement in here. That'll be all paved up, and we'll finish up the scenery, the scenery on the ends, and then maybe we'll put the green in, start doing the actual grass work. I'm going to do static grass in here and some static grass in here. Everything looks pretty good. You know, there's ballasting. Nobody likes ballasting. So if you do, call me. You can come over. We'll be friends. You know, a couple areas I got to touch up. This area over here I got to touch up because it didn't dry down. It didn't, I guess the matte medium didn't soak in. I don't know. And then I got to finish up this switch, make it a little bit nicer, but I'm just going to do that all at once. That's really it. Just some little touch ups here and there, and it's pretty good. Yeah. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, please. And as always, I'll catch you later.